Hey everybody, I'm sorry that I've just been kind of MIA. I've been kind of dealing with a bunch of just different ish right now, and I don't even know where to start. Um, so I've been just focusing on my tarot business, doing that, getting that set up, kind of just been like all like month. I just haven't wanted to make any videos. Kind of felt like really burnt out spiritually. And I've kind of just been going through like that inner purging of just different emotions and trying to like heal my inner self. And I just, it's been an emotional roller coaster, and I've been kind of dealing with the ups and downs of that roller coaster emotionally, and that inner child healing and purging of situations, and going through and just, yeah. So I just wanted to give a quick update. I do tarot, so my business email, if you're interested in a tarot reading, I will have that set up. So yeah, just message me on that if you're into like possibly getting a reading done in the future with me. Yeah, so I've just been, kind of MIA, kind of been like bouts of depression here and there, but it's not like severe depression. It's just like everything just triggers me at this point. Like I just find that the things that I used to really enjoy like recently, I don't like it at all. Oh god, I've been kind of dealing with some allergies, here and there. It's been annoying. I live in a very rural agricultural like town, so they've been getting ready for the summer and things like that. So the dust and the plowing and all that other stuff is just like, it's bad on my nostrils and my nasal cavity. But yeah, like I just haven't wanted to do anything. So I got onto talking about, I got onto talking about stuff with my higher conscious and my inner, child and things, and I just was like, I can't do it. I need to take a step back. I need some me time. I need to just like get out and do whatever. And I've just been really self-critical on myself, like my looks specifically. I'm like still meditating. It's not every single day. It's maybe like once or twice, maybe 3 times, a week, just to connect. If it's a nice day, I'll go sit outside and ground out by a tree and just ask, Mother Earth to take all that root energy, all those emotions out and go from there. So that's basically what I've been doing. I did want to talk about shadow work because I know a lot of times people talk that, how do you do it? How do you go about this? How do you facilitate things? There is no right or wrong way to facilitate your start of your journey. It's just basic building blocks is, learning your energy and learning what triggers you, or learning the behaviors that set you off. Well, that goes with the triggers. But learning yourself and learning your energy and learning your thought patterns and your behaviors, and like, what are you using as a coping mechanism? Is it food? Is it physical touch, human beings, shopping? Like what is your vice at this point? And so yeah, it's like learning your behaviors and actually taking time to like analyze yourself and analyze what has been going on. And I would say give that maybe like a week or two of doing, and you'll be surprised about the things when you are critical, not where you're judging yourself, but like you're analyzing and you're like critical making this observation. Another thing is how you go about your spiritual side. Do you use crystals? Do you use incense? Do you use sage? Do you talk to yourself? Do you talk to spirits? Do you use tarot? Like, what type of divination do you use? And a lot of times it'd be like, oh, I pray. So when you pray, like, what do you say? Like, what do you talk about? And this is really important because how you speak to the universe says how you speak to yourself. So if you're speaking falsely or fake to the universe saying, oh, I'm doing this, just mind you, like, the universe does know exactly what is going on in your life. Like, it's an omnipotent being. It's the source, you know what I mean? Like, we all have this connection to it. So it's not like it's not there, you know? It's not like you get like that metaphoric tattletale, you know, with your spirit guides who are watching your every move, basically. Like, no. It's a seeker of natural truth, if that makes any sense. It's like, in order for you to learn how to harness your light, you have to learn about your shadow. And like allowing that shadow to come forward. And I talked about this with shadow twins. So what I call a shadow twin is your inner child that comes out that is just full of wounds and traumas, that is just eating it. It's completely engulfed in it. And the veil that it's like used, you know, around it. This energy is just, it's so thick. And it's metaphorically like a dark smoke cloud, like really black, you know, before an eruption of a volcano with that pyroclastic flow, which is minus the heat, and how it just engulfs everything in its path. That's what I look as a shadow twin. So this is your inner self, full of the wounds and the traumas that we collect in our lifetime. You know, from point A to point B, once you get to point whatever, and it's like, okay, you're halfway through your journey. It's time to start healing your journey. And people who are taught this at a young age have a fair advantage. Like, believe it or not, like, I want to say I learned about shadow healing probably at like, I want to say 15, 16. And the concept of shadow healing wasn't presented until probably 18, 19. But I was aware of the concept because it's not the first time that I've actually tried to do it. And I just gave up because I felt like I wasn't doing it right. You know, it was right at the moment, but it wasn't right at the right time, if that makes any sense. So I've just been kind of just MIA right now for making videos, but I'm trying not to. I'm trying to like refocus myself and be like, okay, like, here's the hammer, like, get it done. So I enjoyed my little like week and a half, maybe like 2 months, like hiatus. I feel like it's been 2 months. I'm not even joking. I feel like it's been 2 months. I'm used to keeping myself busy with tarot and like helping people, you know, if they message or they call me, and to be like, hey, like, what is this doing, and making my video. So usually I'm like, you know, busy, usually 4 or 5 days out of the week, and I get the weekends off, you know, give or take. So like I look at myself, I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Do I like do a puzzle? Do I write? Do I do what? So yeah, I've been trying to get back into writing my short stories and, you know, really putting that, because that was actually really helpful to me, was I was able to create characters based on how I was feeling that day. So if I was going through depression, I could create a character that had the similar like depressive state or something anarchistic, you know. It depended, you know, what inspiration, what emotion that popped up that day for that character, and go from there. I mean, I've created a story about a girl who she was married off, like a princess was married off to a, like, not a warlord per se, but like a prince or whatever that was a rival to her kingdom, and to keep peace. And they fell madly in love and had a child. But the weird thing is this village or this kingdom, it's very matriarchal. So meaning that women really held power of authority, especially, you know, the ones who had a strong voice. And so this village, this kingdom specifically, was out in the middle of the desert, like sub-Sahara before it became Sahara, right? and they bred lions, and those were their protectors. So they had like a ring around this village in this oasis area, right? And it was sustainable for like, say, maybe 15 to 20,000 people. So there was a ring, so the women would live in the center of this oasis delta or whatever, and the men would make up the other ring, and they would live on the outskirts. So they were only allowed on certain, days of the month, like a full moon, to see their wives or see their daughters. And with that being said, the women really held the authority. And so they would breed in lions, like wild lions for protection. And that was their like thing. That's what this kingdom was known for, is their lions. These purebred lions. And they're well trained, they hunt, they do whatever, they're wild, but they're still tame at the same time in the right hands. And, they went into battle with these lions, and the uncle of the boy that she married, he ended up wanting power to basically rewrite that men had the power, not the females that were in there. And so he murdered her entire family and basically went on like a genocide of people. And she was pregnant at this time, and he cut out their child, her whatever, his own niece, her child, because this was a rival to his power. And so she ended up dying and was reborn as Sekhmet, basically a counterpart to Sekhmet. If you know who Sekhmet is or not, Sekhmet is the lion goddess of Egypt. She's a protector, she's a fierce warrior, but she's also a mother, a child, a forefront of the childbearing. She protects women. And yet she was in charge of protecting the king as well as protecting Ra. So she was very fierce and very feared, but also revered. So she ended up being reborn as this counterpart. And she basically goes on in a revenge, fantasy, like Odyssey, I guess. And yeah, that was kind of like taking back power and basically being the hero and the anti-villain at the same time, but also having that anti-hero like arc. And so that was a way of me like putting my emotions in and basically killing off a past that I no longer needed or no longer served me. So I wanted to do that, and so I did it, and I wrote it. And sometimes I look back at it, I'm like, wow, like that was crazy. I remember where I was in that mindset when I wrote that, and I had like, I just felt like, whew, it was empowering as it was kind of concerning, if that makes any sense. And I'm not being self-critical. It was concerning to have that type of behavior and the way the dialogue shifted. So it was like 3 or 4 different people were talking, at one point during this period, and I would write like little notes on the side or whatever, and to be like, oh, this is what I was feeling this day, or this is what I was feeling that month, and blah blah blah. And I could see that. I was just like, wow, that has shifted tremendously. But yeah, writing short stories was always therapeutic for me. It always was a way to express myself when I wasn't able to verbally express it. I could write it down, and I could basically tuck it away in my computer or my notebooks and, go from there. It was like my own little personal like roadmap to where I've been. And so yeah, I'm writing a different story, and it's weirder. It has to do with tarot, but it's weirder, and it's more supernatural than anything. And I've just been kind of like working on it for the last 2 years, and I wrote the ending and I wrote a bit of the beginning, but I'm like bridging the gap between the two. and I'm kind of writing like 2 different like versions of it, so that's also what takes too long. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me in my life. But I hope everyone had a good like full moon in Libra, because I'm a lot more balanced, but I am emotional. And I haven't been sleeping as well. I've kind of just been here, there, whatever. So like this last like month alone has been super emotional with me with Pisces. When we talk about the Pisces season, I've been super emotional, and I've kind of been super like fired up. You know what I mean? I'm not like quick to do things. I'm more hesitant to do them because I'm thinking, is it really a good look? Is it this? Is it that? So, you know, I'm trying to be more logical. And so Aries kind of has more of that energy, that fire energy that is coming through. It's the rebirth, the renewal. It sets the tone for the rest, of these cycles. But I just gotta say, Pisces season, oh, it's been so hard. It has been so hard. I cannot tell you how many times I've wanted to cry, and I've actually cried a few times, and I'm getting rid of, you know, emotions that I felt during that, and for this month, and just getting out and be like, oh my gosh, like, I get what you feel is valid, but I cannot harbor these emotions. I'm not going to harbor these emotions. So that is where I've been. So I hope to resume my normal posting of spiritual topics and some tarot, and here and there pick some card readings, whatever, and just get back to my normal posting, you know, 3 days a week and doing that. So I just want to say happy Monday. I hope everyone is doing well. Hope you're staying protected, staying earthy, staying grounded, eating well, drinking a lot of water, keeping hydrated, have a health schedule, you know, do what you got to do, meditate, learn your energy, learn your thought processes, learn your shifts, learn your triggers, and really do that. But honestly, make sure when you go through shadow work, you're in trusted company, because honestly, I cannot tell you how big it is to have good connections that are actually going to support you. They're not going to ridicule you, but they're going to give you love. You know what I mean? They're going to teach you how to love yourself. And I'm going to tell you, when you go through shadow work, if you have like self-love, like a self-love routine where you buy something for yourself, make sure it's like, it's actually reasonable. It's not something just be like, oh, I feel like I want this to stay, so I'm gonna go buy it. Like, that's how you get messed up. So this is saying that, you know, maybe rethink your habits, and maybe like stick to a plan, and maybe budget. When I say that, maybe like spiritually budget, but also make time for yourself. Like, make time for your well-being. Make time for not yourself, your self-care routine. I'm saying make time to be you and do things that push you out of your comfort zone, because I'm gonna tell you, it's scary as hell. But if you're stuck in your comfort zone and you're like in this safety blanket or the safety net that you're just like, oh, I don't know, I can't do it, I'm scared, I'm timid, this is saying that you're letting fear do it. And I know it's better, it's anxiety. Like, you will talk yourself out of it because you are so engrossed in your safety net. So you just have to push out of it. It's okay to leave. It's okay to cut the apron strings. It's okay. So tell yourself, tell your inner child, like, hey, it's okay. Like, I reassure you, everything is going to be fine. We'll make it. You know, and have this inner dialogue with your inner child to make sure when you're moving through your shadow that your child does not feel even more stressed out, because in return, it basically defeats the purpose of the shadow work. So I just want to say, make sure you're in trusted company. Stay protected, stay grounded. If you gotta sage, you gotta sage, you know, you gotta do what's best for you, and listen to your guides, listen to that, and get to know yourself. Like, truly dive in. Don't be afraid to do shadow work, because there is no right way to do shadow work. You can take all these, you know, tips and tricks that people will offer on social media or online or through coaches, but, you know, don't be afraid to adapt. You know, if you find something that, you know, say the water, speaking kind to your water or to your tea or to your drink before you drink it as a form of self-care, and you do that every single day with a positive affirmation, then do it. You know what I mean? Research different, hacks or tricks or whatever to do shadow work and actually make it your own. Like, don't be afraid to experiment and switch things up. Like, don't get too comfortable with it, is what I'm saying. Do not get too comfortable in your shadow, because you're not meant to. So, like, step into the light and allow light to permeate through you, because, like I said, you need to understand your shadow before you can understand your light, and you truly get a grasp of that. So I just want to say peace, love, and happiness to everyone. Protection as well. But yeah, like, let's get into it. Like, I'm really trying to make April, and I'm trying to make April, like, something fun and something more lighthearted. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you back soon. So peace, love, and happiness. Love you.